Hello, welcome. Thanks for joining me today for some meditation. If we haven't met before, I'm Kay. I run Ecstatic Self, and it's a pleasure to get to be here with you today. So, whenever you feel ready, go ahead and find a comfortable way of sitting, whatever that means to you. If you would rather lay down, that's totally fine. If you want to sit back and relax into a chair, do what feels right for you. When we move into meditation, we want to find a state of surrender, a state of being able to let go and let the meditation do us rather than us trying to do the meditation. So find a comfortable seat. If you are sitting upright, try to allow your spine to stack tall. Feel your jaw relax, your face relax, your shoulders relax. And listen to the sound of your breathing. What sort of noise do you hear with the breath? What does the quality of the breath feel like? Notice the rise and fall of your shoulders, your chest, the expansion and deflation of your belly. Take a deep inhale and then let it go. Take a deep breath in. Let everything go. And feel yourself settling into the present moment. Remind yourself that there's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to be doing, but just simply being here with yourself today in your practice, in your own work. A lot of people ask why meditation is so important and do I really need to do it? Does it really matter? The truth is, yeah, it does matter. It is an opportunity to go past the surface level of the mind, the surface level of experience, and dive into something deep and profound. Something knowing in a cellular sense. If it's helpful, you can place a hand on your chest or on your belly to be more in tune with the physical sensations inside of you. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. So today we're going to do a little bit of focus on the third eye, or the Anya chakra, the space right between and slightly above the eyebrows. As you can gently turn your gaze towards this space. Inhale and exhale. Imagine that you can breathe in and out of this space in your forehead, your third eye. And if it's helpful, you can imagine a pinprick of light there. If you'd like, you may place the tip of your tongue on the roof of your mouth and then run it towards the back. You want to rest the tip of your tongue on the part right before you get to the soft palate, the squishy part. So if you run your tip of your tongue towards the back of your mouth and it starts to get really soft, come back just so slightly. And then press upwards through your tongue there. And you may feel a pressure sensation then go through up towards the third eye. And allow your awareness to just sit in this space without trying to make anything happen or trying to develop any sort of mystical powers, though they do exist in this area. Allow yourself to just be here. What do you sense? What do you experience? So for those of you who have meditated with me before, you notice that I don't typically do a lot of work with the third eye chakra in my teachings or the throat chakra. Because oftentimes the work that I explore with people, we're either going down into our base, going down into our roots, our energetic roots, to feel either sexual energy, orgasmic energy, or connect with a shamanic sort of work where we head down out of the root chakra. Or we might work in the solar plexus, work on our personal power, on our heart, the center of ourselves. We'll also do a lot of work on the crown and going upwards. But these other energy centers, like in the throat and the third eye, are not to be forgotten. The third eye is a place to focus for visioning, for energetic understanding, for psychic abilities. And so this week I was working with one of my one-on-one clients where we were exploring how could they better understand their best life, what that meant for them. And I thought it was a really great opportunity to start diving into some third eye work. So I'd like for you to explore the same thing today. I'd like to invite you to join me on that exploration. So as you sit here focusing on your third eye, allowing the tongue to press up into the roof of the mouth, just silently ask inside to better understand what your best life looks like. To better have a vision of where you would be to be thriving. And as you ask for this vision, maybe you experience colors, shapes, patterns of light. Maybe you have physical sensations in your body or a strong emotion well up. Maybe nothing happens. Maybe you have a crystal clear vision of something unexpected, like a location or a person. Whatever you're experiencing, don't latch onto it too much. Just come back to the pure awareness of just being here in this space. Sit with your third eye without trying to make anything happen or force anything. what does your best life look like, feel like? And ever so gently, if you're so inclined, you can almost feel an expansion out of your third eye, radiating outwards. If it's helpful, you can envision a blue swirling light surrounding you from here, shining outwards. And as you do, notice any physical sensations you have, like an experience of floating, an experience of unraveling, an experience of flight or weighting down. And just notice what you feel. I'm a big believer that if you ask for something with a clear intent, you will get it. Maybe not in the form you expected or in the time you hoped, but usually you'll get some sort of sign right away. You will almost always end up with what you asked for if your intent is clear and it's in your best interest. So what is your experience right now of being here in your third eye and asking for a vision of what your best life looks like? Are you getting any sort of immediate response? Are you feeling anything in particular? What do you notice? Allow yourself to expand more than maybe you normally would. Notice if you sense any barriers to your experience of this. Notice if you sense any barriers to experiencing the fullness that life has to offer you. So many of us put a cap on how much joy we're allowed to feel, how much wealth internally we're allowed to experience. We say, I'm only allowed this much joy. And if I start to feel myself coming close to that threshold, often I start to think, well, when's the bad stuff going to happen? When's the other shoe going to drop? And then we tense and we freeze and we say, oh, no, I can't. Bad things are on their way. Gotta stop. What if we let that boundary go? What if we allow ourselves, as we breathe into the third eye, to just invite an expansive, boundless state of well-being? To say, I'm going to live in my best self, in my best life, without restrictions, without holding back, without being afraid, without saying no? What if I dive into this space of possibilities and thrive there? If I say, hell yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to live in my most awesome state. If you live in that, what comes up for you? What do you feel? Joy, terror, exhalation, exultation, inhalation? What are the sensations? What is the experience of it? And try not to make any specific vision or experience come to mind. When I did this meditation earlier this week with one of my clients, I had a very specific vision come up. And I can even feel part of me today saying, oh, let's go back to that. Let's explore deeper. Let's go further with that vision. But that's not where I'm at today. That's not my experience. I'm experiencing something different. You can never walk through the same part of the river twice. We can never go back and have the same meditation twice. So whatever it is you're feeling today, relish it. Even if it's different than you anticipated. Even, or especially if it's different than you wanted. Be here with whatever you're feeling. Continue to breathe into the third eye. Continue to press up with the tip of your tongue onto the roof of your mouth. Be here now. The mantra for the third eye is Om. So I'm going to chant the mantra Om a few times and just notice what you experience. Shanti, 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 peace, peace, peace. Again, invite your shoulders and jaw and chest and belly to relax. Your forehead relaxes. Your eyes relax. Your skin relaxes. Allow yourself to be where you are. And then we're slowly going to just let our awareness drop down into the center of our chest. The Anya chakra, the heart center. It is the meeting point between the higher, more ethereal chakras and the lower, more earthbound chakras. It's the seat of our self. So whether or not you had a clear vision, whether or not you had something that felt tangible, we're just going to come in here and root into our soul stuff, our consciousness stuff. Bring everything that you experienced here to this space. Just be here with yourself. You can slowly go ahead and place one hand on your heart, and then take your 3 middle fingers and place it on your third eye, just where we've been focusing. And feel the connection between these 2 points. Feel the golden line of energy that runs from your third eye to your heart. In whatever way you experience it today. And then let that go. Thank yourself for taking the time to dedicate to your meditative practice, to connecting within. Thank yourself for having the wherewithal to realize that if we always orient ourselves outwards, then we're going to be depleted. We're not going to be operating at our best. That turning within is one of the best things we can do for our well-being. So thank you for joining me today. I try to leave time at the end. I know this is only the second week that we're doing this, but I always try to leave time at the end. If anyone has any questions, anything that's been coming up for them this week in their own practice, in their own work towards wholeness or self-discovery, please feel free to ask them. I'm happy to talk about them now. Otherwise, I'll just share a little bit of what I've been going through over the past week in the few minutes we have left. So when we did our first class last week, I literally ran out of an argument, and I don't have many of those, to come and meditate with y'all. As you may or may not know, I was spending 9 days with my in-laws, and a lot of things came up. A lot of hurtful things were said, I'm sure perceived by both parties. And really, really unkind things were said to my face about me from people that said that they cared about me. This past week, it's caused a reworking of our relationships with me and my husband between each other, my husband with his parents, me with his parents, where basically I'm probably never going to interact with them again after this experience with them, because it was so painful. But since getting back home to Washington, D.C., and kind of dealing with the repercussions, I've just noticed that I have been tired. Yeah, I've been napping a lot, but just wanting to sit in stillness. That very atypically for me, I've not wanted to do anything. And for those of you who've heard, my story this year with COVID, my regular job I'd been doing for the last 4 years, traveling around the world and teaching, obviously stopped. And so I've had a ton of free time, and what I do with that, I wrote and published a book, Journey to the Ecstatic Self. I started my own coaching practice, Ecstatic Self. Some of you maybe have worked with me one-on-one. I started this YouTube channel. I've adopted a cat. I've moved. I've done a lot of things. I'm always busy doing and creating and making art and writing essays and doing, because I always feel like I have a lot to accomplish. And I also have a lot of pressure on myself to feel like I'm using this precious life, to feel like I'm making the most out of this time I've been given and this body I've been given and these resources I've been given, and I don't want to feel like I'm wasting anything. But this week, after this traumatic experience traveling and visiting my in-laws, all I wanted to do is just lay in like a huddled mass, hugging myself, napping, breathing, and letting my healing take place, letting this experience work its way through in whatever way it needs to. Because it was fucking painful. It was tremendously uncomfortable. I haven't been that hurt in about 5 years since I had the very traumatic separation from the spiritual community I had grown up in and was a part of. And I know for so many of us, we think that when we're healing, it needs to be something active, right? We need to get over it. We need to go find something to take our mind off of it, or we need to get busy, or you can allow yourself to mourn for half a day, but then you better pick yourself up and move on. Doesn't work that way. I remember reading recently that in the book that for psychologists and psychiatrists that say you have this much of an experience before it's considered something pathological, it's considered a personality disorder or some sort of cognizant disorder, that you only have a certain amount of time to grieve before it's considered depression. Like you've got like 90 days to grieve, and if you're grieving a loved one past 90 days, it's considered depression. And I remember talking to my husband who got his master's degree in clinical psychology, and we both agreed, we're like, that's bullshit. Like, it takes you the time to grieve that it takes you the time to grieve. It takes you to the time to heal that it takes you the time to heal. If you lost your partner, a beloved family member, somebody who has been with you for 30 years, you're not gonna fucking get over it in 30 days or 90 days or 6 months. It might take you 30 years to finally move on and heal. And that's okay. And so for me, going through 8 fucking days of being belittled and berated and treated like shit, it's okay for me to not rebound and like day 2 of being home being like, woo, let's write a new book. Let's film 17 YouTube videos this week and get them out there. I don't feel that way. I feel like I got the shit knocked out of me and I want to huddle in a little ball and nap and rest and eat chocolate and take care of myself. And if I don't feel like going to the gym and lifting weights today, fuck it. If I don't feel like getting up and doing something, you know, I'm in a fortunate position that, you know, I don't have to, right? Like that, I'm not going to like lose my job because today I needed to care for myself. So this week has been really humbling for me to remember that no matter how much time you put into self-inquiry, how many hours you meditate, how skillful you might be trying to regulate your emotions and be an effective self-healer, it can still take time. And you may need to be a sack of potatoes on the couch for a while as you work on healing, and that's fucking all right. It's okay to be a hot mess. It's okay to not feel well. And if you're still there, you know, and you're realizing that you're stuck and you need someone to help you get out of it, perfect. But that's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, get the help you need. But so often we don't give ourselves the permission we need to go through our healing and mourning process. So if the holidays or the winter or seasonal disorder is messing with you and you just don't feel okay, don't hate on yourself. Don't tell yourself you should be being better. Allow yourself go through the process that you need to go through. And allow yourself to fully heal, because too often we try to rush it. We try to say I'm fine, and these things don't really heal. We just scab over those rough bits and pretend that we're okay, when really we're not. So I don't know about you, but I want to fully heal from everything in life, right? Because we all got our trauma, we all got our shit. So I invite you to have the same grace for yourself that I'm trying to give to me, which is to say, if you feel like laying on the couch, especially after all these months of COVID, do it, man. Do it. It's okay to be where you are. It's okay to be you. It's okay to be going through whatever it is you're going through. Well, that's what I've got for today. If anyone else had a question that they wanted to throw out there, please feel free. Otherwise, thank you for joining me, because this is something I'm really going to be trying to work on building, is this idea of community. And how can people, especially people who identify with this work, which have thus far been really, have been queer men, but whoever this speaks to, I want to create space where we can come together, heal, grow together, explore ourselves together. So I hope that this is just the beginning of something greater, whether that's when COVID's over, doing more in-person stuff, doing in-person retreats and workshops. I'm working on trying to figure out how to create like an online group or forum for people to join. I'm thinking of starting a Patreon if that's something you guys think would be valuable. My book is definitely out there. Journey to the Ecstatic Self. If you haven't checked it out yet, please do. It's pretty awesome. And as always, if you ever have content or things you want me to talk about or create, please shoot me an email or send me a message or post on here, because I like to know what speaks to you. So let's just finish with a deep breath. It's an honor and a privilege to get to serve you through this work that we're all doing. I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous night. I'm Kay. This is Ecstatic Self. Namaste. Thanks for being here.